Hello, and welcome to the unboxing series, where we aim to highlight African fashion designers, makers, and creatives. We aim to share their stories and their fashion inspiration and how they're making waves in the industry. My name is Elorm Praise Dela-Seshie, and I am the founder of Adorn Me Africa. So, hello and welcome to the unboxing, where we aim to highlight African fabrics, their stories, and their inspiration, and how they're making moves in the industry. Today, we are speaking to Larry Jafaru Mohammed, head designer and creative director of Larry J. Now, I'm so excited to be speaking to you today, Larry, and just to kind of get more people excited about your brand and more people understanding your perspective and your story and how you came to be a fashion designer. So we're just gonna jump right in and just info and let people know who you are.
Okay, so thank you for having me. I've always wanted one-on-one chit chat with you, and I feel like this is a great opportunity. So thank you again for having me. So my name is Larry Jafaru Mohammed, and I'm the creative director and founder of the Larry J brand. And I founded this brand in 2012. That was right after high school, whilst I was waiting for my results. So I started this brand doing just fashion accessories like neck pieces, slippers, bags, and other little things like brooches and bow ties and all of the accessories you can think about out of African prints from my mother's wardrobe. And yeah, so it's been like that for me until 2016 when I decided to introduce fashion clothes. And then I debuted my spring summer collection in 2017. And since then, it's been great. I mean, it's been so good. The
Yeah.
clothes were really accepted well, they were embraced well. And yeah, I feel like we are on track. We are doing something.
That's awesome. So, so you said you started your brand right out of high school, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, what was that like? Like, that's pretty young to start a brand. And so, like, what was your like motivation, I guess, at that point to start a brand?
So I feel like it was I feel like fashion for me was kind of a genetic talent because I grew up in a home where everyone loved fashion. Everyone loved to look good. My parents would dress well. They would dress as a kid very well. And so I feel like my parents sort of inspired me to start fashion with their sense of style and background coming from an Islamic home. So they sort of influenced me greatly, and their sense of fashion also influences my brand very well.
Right.
Because when you look at my brand, the aesthetic and everything, you can tell um, my kind of background. My designs are very minimal, they are very unusual, and they are timeless. And trust me, these were like influenced by my parents and background.
Really cool. So, your parents as your inspiration, you grew up in a household where fashion was like an important part of your culture. And so that's super cool. I feel like I can definitely relate to that. Like as far as like growing up, seeing my mother, these really cool African pieces, Ghanaian, um, like outfits with the head wrap and everything. And I grew up like being interested in in like the background of the fashion industry. And so this is like super awesome listening to you talk about your family connection to your brand. So can you tell me like what are some of the challenges that you face as you've been building your brand and, kind of learning, as you go?
So the kind of challenges we face down here, not just for me, but for young creatives coming up, one is finance, because
Right,
there's no grant set aside for young creatives, and that's like
right,
very challenging. Because having to finance your business, having to like there's no finance, right? There's no finance. So what can you even do, even if you have the talent? How can you put it out there? Because you need money for everything. So how can you
right.
put it out there? You haven't even able to put it out there. How can someone buy into it? So
Mm-hmm.
that's like a bit challenging for young creatives down here in Ghana. And also the fact that everyone wants to be an entrepreneur down here. So it boils down to like a lot of charges with everything. So in this case, you, the founder, have to either be your own designer, you have to be like you have to, I mean, like employ yourself
Mm-hmm.
back doors whilst you are in front, also doing like the front work. For
Right.
me, I sometimes to do the designing, I sometimes have to do the cutting, and then I
Mm-hmm.
even sometimes have to do the stitching because it's very hard finding like people who can understand your story, people who would like to work with what we are building on. So it's sometimes challenging.
Right. I understand that. It's a very unique perspective because I think we kind of take that for granted in the US, having resources and being able to tap into grants or being able to, just get a business loan really, where entrepreneurs in Africa and in other countries, they have to do it from the ground up using whatever resources you have for yourself and then building from that point. So it's really incredible that you even been able to develop an entire brand from the ground up, starting from high school. That's just amazing.
Yeah. So starting up, I mean, I've been self-funding from the time I started. So today,
Right.
I haven't
Right.
received any grants, no loans, nothing. So everything has been like a rollover from the profit, the sales we make. So I
Right.
try
Right.
to roll it over, and that's how it's been like since. So
Mhm.
that's what we live by.
Right.
Also,
And in that process.
one challenge also like the recognition. It's not
Hmm.
very easy to get recognized down here. It takes
Right.
some time, and yeah. So because of that, I had to be very determined. I had to be very focused on what I was working on. I had to get my stories right. I had to get my vision and my mission for the brand very right. And
Mhm.
then I had to set my target audience or my target market right. So that's been also something that has helped me growing up my brand.
Right. So I feel like in my opinion, like African creatives, makers, like you guys are the ultimate like hustler because you guys have to really start from the bottom. Like no infrastructure really, and there aren't a lot of resources. So it's really incredible that you're able to build a brand and um to still create the opportunities for yourself, really, that can create space for you to succeed. So that's amazing, and I'm so glad that you're sharing that with people because they don't understand or they may not know what the experience is like for the African creative versus someone who's in the U.S. who has access. So that's thank you for sharing that. So my next question for you is, what do you feel like is your idea of success in your industry with your brand? Like, what is like the place that you'll get to where you say, like, I've arrived?
The point where I feel like I have had like a global recognition. Everyone worldwide knows about my brand. I have been able to solve a lot of issues in my immediate community because that's what I'm actually working on. That is part of my vision. That is part of my mission, creating this brand. So
Right,
until I am able to do all of this, I feel like I wouldn't feel like I have succeeded or I am okay with my brand. So
right.
I mean, it's a step at a time, but gradually I know I will reach there and I would be able to tell the world I have succeeded.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. I feel like it's a different perspective to hear about a designer who's really working to uplift his community and to make more opportunities for within your community. And so that's really awesome and really commendable. And I feel like that's a unique perspective. I think that comes from the African designers as well, because your circumstances are different, your environment is different, and and so you're hoping to also create those opportunities for other creatives like you who are growing up. So that's really good. So what is what do you feel like sets you apart?
I need to put my charger on. Sorry about that. A minute.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. We'll edit this
Alright.
part out.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. I had.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
Okay. So so you talked about some of your challenges. Basically creating something completely from scratch where there's no, infrastructure necessarily in order for you to start building a brand. So you having to develop all of those things for yourself and then learning it as you go. So how do you feel like when did you start using like social media as a tool to get your name out there? And before social media was really a thing, or before social media was as big as it is now, let's say, because a lot of brands are featuring on Instagram. But how did you get like your brand name out there before we have the Instagram as we know it or the Facebook as we know it today?
Yeah. So I feel like my friends also helped in a way because when I started making this fashion accessories, I didn't really commercialize it. I was making it for myself at the time. So I would make it and wear it, and then they would tell me, "Oh, this is nice. Can you make one for me?" So I just felt okay. Since all of them are requesting for it, they are really interested in it. So this is something I could make money out of. So that is when I started commercializing it. I started selling it to them, at least so I could make um, production funds out of it to make new ones. And so it was just direct to consumer, let me say. So it wasn't really advertising it online or anything because at the time we didn't even have Instagram, or let me say we had Instagram, but it wasn't popular as today. So
Right.
most of my advertisements was direct to my friends, like in person. They would see it and then just order for it or just show interest. And yeah, that's how it started.
Right. So word of mouth, basically,
Yeah.
was the road. That's awesome. So what do you feel sets you apart from other fashion brands? Like there are a lot of new up and coming fashion brands all the time. And what do you feel like is your unique perspective? What is your unique, style and aesthetic that kind of sets you apart from the others?
So I feel like our traditional aesthetic, our designs, exude an understated style and elegance. And our style also emphasizes tradition and comfort. It is vintage with details and innovates that echoes our West African heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's what sets us um, apart from other African brands.
Right.
Also, I feel like our collections are truly unique and they are timeless. So that is also something that draws me closer to my target audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So a lot of the material that you use is like the traditional batik, and and a lot of your collections kind of like been that sort of style. So can you kind of speak to like how you started working with the specific fabrics that you work with and the type of material that you work with, and what goes into that?
So I started using the tie dyes, the handmade fabrics, just to follow the dream I was working towards. So the dream was to be a sustainable brand, and I can't be a sustainable brand whilst using some fabrics when I don't know where they come from or
Right.
where they originated from or whatever. So I
Mm-hmm.
tried to, yeah, I tried to use fabrics that were like in my immediate surrounding, in my immediate community. And
Right.
through this, I am sort of providing employment to the people I work with down here.
Yeah.
So that was what came about for me to start using the tie-dye fabric because they are made locally. We source whatever we use in making it locally. So that is like giving back to my community.
Right. Right.
So yeah, and the people I work with are Ghanaians. Some of them are not Ghanaians, but they are Africans because they migrated from some part of Africa like Guinea, Senegal,
Mhm.
to sort of find peace down here in Ghana and also for like trading purposes. So me working with them, I feel like okay, I'm giving them something to also live on. I'm giving them and their family or their kids something to live on. So that is the little way I can also um, support my community with what I am doing. So yeah, that's
Right.
how come we started using the tie-dye fabric.
That's so good, and that's so important. I don't
Yeah.
think that that a lot of designers in the U.S. necessarily have to think about um, sourcing fabric as much as you do in Ghana. Just because if I want to go to the fabric store, I know that I can get unlimited amounts of whatever fabric it is, wherever it came from, whether it's made from China or what have you. But it's not necessarily as simple. You have to go to, like, if you're sourcing fabric, where are you going? If you're not having it made, where would you be going to get your fabric from?
That's also another problem we face down here, like getting fabrics in large quantities. Sometimes you make like a collection and then the next thing you start getting orders and you can't even because you can't find the same type of fabric you use in producing or
Right,
making that collection. So that has been a problem I have faced before. So we had to
right,
sit down and structure our process of sourcing fabrics, and then yeah, we came up with this idea that would make our brand actually look or maybe be a sustainable brand and also provide job opportunities for the and yeah, So if I wasn't making tie-dye breaks, I feel like I would refer to other African countries because tie-dye is not the only fabric that are made down here. Instead of getting like the digital printed fabrics, I rather look to other African countries where I could come by some woven fabrics and also
other sorry, and also some other forms of locally.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned like sustainable and like brand. What does like having an ethical brand mean to you?
So being an ethical brand is like a broad question. And so the aspect we sort of target is producing locally, sourcing locally, paying our workers or whoever we are working with very well, making sure our team is right, the right thing, using like natural fibers in production, using chemical free dyes and whatever in production, stuff that wouldn't cause harm on our community as a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of people are very conscious of how they're buying, who they're buying from right now, and what materials they're buying.
Yeah.
And so
And
I think like that's very important.
Also because of the kind of people I work with or I target, anytime they come to me to buy, they try to know what they are buying. They ask what material we use, how we source our material, the people we work with. It even goes down to how much we pay our people we work with, because they know our story and they want to be sure we are really staying true to whatever we put out there.
Right. And that's really important. And so that's also another reason I asked you that question, because I want, our clients and our subscribers and all of the people that connect with Adorn Me Africa to know that we are very mindful and care about the brands that we work with and how they're creating their pieces and and the ecosystem that kind of sustains. So thank you for sharing that. So it's a very exciting time for fashion. I feel like a lot more attention is being brought to African fashion, and I'm super excited about it. And so, like, what has that been like for you? Like, more interest, more opportunities. What has that been like?
So yeah, I feel like it's really an exciting time in fashion in Africa now, because as young creatives, we are not boxed anymore. We we are no longer stifled by our parents or by the society. We have become unstoppable force. We have become an unstoppable force. We are able to create. We are able to sort of experiment, and the results we are churning out is what is causing this great excitement. And trust me, there are lots of creatives coming out every day with great designs and great stuff. So yeah, I feel like this is an exciting time for fashion in Africa.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's so many awesome new brands coming out. And like when I started taking an interest in African fashion, you were one of the first brands that I connected with. And like it was like a really like your pieces are super unique. I'm wearing one of the pieces that you made for me. right
Oh,
now. And yeah, this is
uh-huh. Oh yeah, I
the
like the way
long.
you started.
Thank
Oh,
you. So I'm gonna do like a whole photo video
oh,
thing
okay,
after,
okay.
but I'll let you see that. But yeah, like your brand has always really, especially because you stay true to your culture and you really pull from vintage looks and from classic Ghanaian, design. And
Yeah.
so I think like that's also a unique perspective because a lot of people, when they think about African fashion, they think about like wax print a lot of the time, and they don't
Yeah,
necessarily know about the other types of fabrics and
yeah,
cloth that is produced in Ghana. So, or in Africa in general, there's just so many woven fabrics and a lot of different types of material that are made. So that's why I was really drawn to your brand in general. So, if you want to add anything there about like the different fabrics that you work with. I know I have bags that we sell on Adorn Me Africa that are made with like what are the bags made with
oh,
the
jute, jute.
the jute, yeah,
Yeah, that's it. It's also a natural fiber. And
right,
down here, everyone knows jute is something like the jute bags is something that we store cocoa, cashew, onions in. And
right,
after they are transported, they are just trashed out just like that. So I
mhm,
thought we could actually to make something. So we recycle them into valuable pieces like shoes, bags. We dye them sometimes. And trust me, after they are made, it is very hard to even tell that is
what
the
it
jute we
is.
pick.
Yeah,
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 on the
that's
market.
so
Yeah.
cool. That's I feel like that's so cool. And that's like the most unique parts of your brand that I appreciate. I know that when I show pieces of your brand to my clients, like they're just, wowed and floored
Yeah.
at your use of material and how create your design. So thank you. Okay, so I want to kind of get into some more relaxed, fun questions, so
Okay.
you can, take off your businessman hat and like just relax.
Okay.
So like just you as, you know, Larry, Jafaru,
Mhm.
how do you unwind? How do you, after a long after all of your orders have been fulfilled, how do you relax?
So I sometimes try to do that on music. I sometimes try to do that like by the beach because I like nature. I like to look up in the skies. I like to look at my surroundings and see the wonders of nature. And with that, I tend to learn more. I tend to broaden my mind more. I tend to sort of make way for new designs in mind. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. What I do to relax and I am not working.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you talked about, like relaxing and listening to music. Who
Mhm.
are you listening to right now? What kind of music are you listening to?
So my kind of music is a bit unusual. I really like listening to some songs from the 70s, like some bohemian tracks, some Tuareg kind of traditional music. So I
Okay.
listen to Soga Niger. Maybe you can
Okay.
Google them after.
Yeah.
I also listen to Lijadu sisters from Nigeria. I also listen to Lassie, sometimes from Ghana, and
Mhm.
Who else do I listen to? Yeah, I also listen to Yusu Ndur. I don't know if you've heard of him too. So yeah, these are the kind of people I listen to because I feel like that's what really goes with my design aesthetic, and it inspires me the more when I'm listening to them, sometimes looking at their video clips, the kind of fashion that goes in there, their style and everything, and it broadens me more. So yeah.
So even when you're not working, you're working. Your brain is always working, essentially.
Yeah.
You're always
So
pulling.
I feel like I'm so attached to the brand that whatever I do, whether working or not working, I sort of have the brand at mind. I just try to find little ways I can improve on my brand all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally get that. I feel like in my downtime is like when I get most of my creative ideas and stuff like that. So I totally understand that. Like while you want to also get some rest and that sort of thing, it's hard to like separate, your brain from that creative mode. So I totally get that. Yeah. Okay. So here's a random question. If the world was ending and you had to choose your last meal, what would it be?
So I think I'll go for mangoes. I like mangoes a lot.
Mangoes.
I like mangoes a lot. So I just feel like I'll go for mangoes because well, let me just say I think I can live on mangoes.
You sound like my husband. Like he will live on mangoes if I let him. That's so funny. Okay. So if you were stuck on a desert island, what are the 3 things that you would absolutely have to have with you?
One, I think it would be water, because the desert has no water anywhere.
You know all about that desert life. Yeah.
And then 2 would be food. Of course, the last one would be clothing, because we can't live by food or clothes. We can't live without food or clothes. So this would be the 3 things.
Okay.
Food, clothing, and water. I think I'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Can you share just an interesting story that you feel like people getting to know you would, want to know? What's one interesting story that you could share, maybe in your design life or even in your personal life? Like, share something.
So, okay, sometimes people hear my name and they feel like, oh, okay, they don't even ask if I'm Muslim or Christian. They just feel like, oh, RJ, like he's Christian. And so I tell them, until they ask sometimes, or maybe they read about me somewhere and then find out I'm Muslim, then they come back, oh, I read you are Muslim. Is it true? And I tell them, yeah, I'm true. And also I feel like a lot of people don't even know I'm Ghanaian. And don't blame them, because I feel like my design aesthetic doesn't permit them to know I'm like 100% Ghanaian, because when we talk about like Islamic religion down here, like my background, this kind of fashion to the mind, because it's not something we really see down here all the time in the southern part of Ghana, until you are up there in the north. So I feel like people don't really know I'm Muslim, and they don't know I am Ghanaian, and they don't even know I'm from the northern region of Ghana. So that is something a lot of people don't know. So I feel like that's something I have to share with a lot of people.
I didn't know you were from the northern region. I mean, I guess I could have guessed because the like most of the population there is Muslim, but I didn't realize. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Oh, so you see,
so we'll
that
have
is new
to
to
take a trip there. We'll have to
come
take a trip
again.
there together so you can show me your hood.
I will.
Okay, so just wrapping up the interview now, what do you feel like you want your lasting impact to be on the fashion world with your brand?
So what I want with brand is togetherness, like with me, my workers, my consumers, and everyone that comes closer. I want like togetherness, I want the oneness, and I want to like spread love with my brand.
Yeah.
That is what I want with Larry J. Togetherness, oneness, and then love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending time talking to me and doing this interview. Just showing people more about your brand, bringing people into your inspiration, and just telling people, who you are as a person. I think that it's really important that people not just wear the clothes, but know who is making their clothes and the perspective that you use to make your clothes. I think is really relevant and important to Adorn Me Africa and to the fashion world as it is. I think a lot of people are getting away from the fast fashion and focusing more on brands and ethical brands and brands that have a real personality and a real story behind them. So I'm so glad you got to share with me today, and I really hope that we get to do more. People get to know you more through Adorn Me Africa, and as your brand grows, like your brand is growing, every year it's just growing bigger and bigger. So I'm so excited for you. And I thought we can continue to work together. For the people watching this video, you can get Larry J's pieces on adornmeafrica.com in our marketplace, as well as through our subscription box. And you can learn more about Larry J and his brand on Adorn Me Africa. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
I think we did okay. I don't think we were too nervous. I think we did okay.
No. I mean, I think it was okay. And thanks for the way you kind of tweaked the question. Even though I didn't do like much, I know it was a bit okay.
No, you did really good. You did really good. I think I just wanted it to flow and just be, natural. I don't do this normally, so I'm also just like in my head.
I mean, it's good. It's good. We are all learning, and we are trying to better our speech on camera. I'm really shy when it comes to cam, so it's not something I really.
Too. I don't do interviews. I don't do stuff. I just I don't do anything related to being in front of a camera.
So most of the time, I just prefer the writing the interviews than the view ones, because that would just get me nervous. But I mean, we did good.
Yeah, I think we did good.
Yeah.
So thank you again for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
No problem. I will be in Ghana in April.
Oh,
so let's we'll definitely make some time to meet when I'm there.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm gonna be, so like I told you, I'm working with Kofi Graham to work on my social media, and so I'm hoping we can start really pushing your your most recent collection
Yeah.
in the spring, just because of the weather too. It's just freezing right now. And so I feel like people will respond better to it in the spring.
Okay.
And plus I'll be doing a lot of pop-up events. And so
Okay.
people can touch it and see it. And so I'll
Yeah.
probably be getting that second of my order when I'm in
Okay.
Ghana.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know. I'll be keeping
Okay.
you updated and stuff.
All right.
So, but
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
hope you
Thank you
have
too.
no problem at all.
Yeah, and I'm
So
trying to do like a pop-up with you know Chef Binta, right?
yeah.
Yeah. You know, she's into this nomadic food cuisine thing, like dine on the mat. And I'm
That's a
also
great topic.
working, yeah, and I'm also working on like a nomadic part of like the fashion. So yeah, I spoke with her. I had this idea from January, like I wanted to do like some one-off pieces and then just sell them out. So you buy and then you don't get it again. There's no replica, nothing. Out of some fabrics I bought from town, like they normally come, you know, town where the sort of damp fabric they bring from Europe and other western parts of the world. So yeah, I bought some of them. I'm trying to tie-dye them, get them into different forms, and then just do some pieces out of them, and then yeah, do a pop-up and just sell them out, just to while away before I release my new collection in October. Yeah, so she came to mind and I discussed with her and she was like, oh, that's like actually a good idea. So we should start working. Yeah, so
When are you guys hoping to do this?
So about April, but then April, I'm not sure. So we are pushing it to May.
Okay.
Yeah, we are pushing it to May. So we are now going to discuss the venue, the times to do it, and all of that. So yeah, we are talking about it. I just hope it turns out to be like a great initiative that we can be doing like from time to time.
Yeah.
Because she has like a clientele. She has some cross path with audience. Yeah, because most of her people come to my store and then they mention her name. They're like, oh, I saw Chef Binta wearing your pieces at her Dine on the Mat event. And yeah, so I just decided to discuss with her. So yeah, we are working.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I mean, well, you guys will be doing it after I leave, but hopefully I can catch one of them when again.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. They are just going to be like very easy pieces made with viscose fabrics. Yeah, like very soft fabric. Some of them, you know, viscose are mostly like a composition of natural fibers. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And then just get like a good story about it. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm excited to hear more about that, and can add like if I can promote it through Adorn Me Africa. Let me know.
I'll let you know with the process. Whatever we talk about, I'll let you know. Yeah. And then if there's any advice you want to pitch on it, I mean, it's fine. Because she has like a team she works with, and it's more like I'm alone. I just have one associate who sometimes adds up to like the stuff I do. I tell him and then he tell me, okay, this way, that way. Yeah, so I'll let you know with the process. Then if you have any ideas also. Yeah,
and if you need like a sponsorship or something, let me know.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you again, Larry. Have a
good
evening.
Okay, you too.
See you later. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.